started. Welcome back to so many of you who we haven't seen for a while. Betsy, welcome back. Lisa, we don't get to see you much and we're happy you're here. And Terry, you're back from COVID hell. So good to see you. You guys, Marcia's gonna lead us today with this delicious curried cauliflower all-in-one meal. But I'm gonna ask Carol to just give us a brief introduction and say a few words to lead us for a minute.
Hey, everybody, welcome. So I talked to Deb and Marcia earlier today, and we thought, given the circumstances of what's going on in the world right now, it might be nice to just all share a moment of hope before we begin cooking for the Middle East and for the people there who are suffering so much, and maybe to send a little virtual kindness their way, and to think on them and if you're so inclined to pray for them and positive thoughts their way. So I just wanted to add that to our recipe tonight before we begin.
Thank you, Carol.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Soon, yeah.
Okay, we're going to with kindness and prayers and thoughts for the people over in Israel, hand it off to you, Marcia.
May there be peace on all sides and for everyone.
Amen.
It's been a rough few days. So this is a dish that during COVID, my son and my daughter were home for about 3 months. And since I was in the office and everyone else was working from home, they took turns cooking dinner. They each, I think, took 1 day a week. And somehow at the beginning, we found this cauliflower curry recipe, and my son made it. And then every time it was his turn to cook, he made it again. And so we had it. We don't really do anything on repeat here. So we had this many, many times. And then every time he comes home, he asks for this as well. So we've had it quite a lot of times. So I'm hoping that it'll turn out well for everyone. It's full of, cauliflower is one of the cruciferous vegetables, which is so good for you, anti-cancer and just filled with nutrients. And then the chickpeas, you have your protein, you have your dark greens, you really have everything in here. So I'm glad to be able to provide it for whoever needs it, because it's really a good meal. So I have just put in my oil and my cauliflower. It's sizzling along, and because there's so much, I don't think this 7 or 8 minutes is going to be quite 5 to 8 minutes, it says. So it's going to take a while because you have to keep turning it. But once it gets, slightly brown, that would be great. I had really large heads of cauliflower, and so I stopped dividing it after 2. I don't know how large your heads are. This is something from the Asian market, and it was quite huge. So, I don't know, my huge pot, I put in 2 heads, which was, a good 6 inches worth. I don't know.
You know what they say, Marcia, 2 heads are always better than 1.
Yeah, that looks
I'm showing how much I have. Does this seem like too much? I think it's a huge bowl, but it's we're making lots. So
yeah. I mean, I can't tell. Oh yeah, it looks the same as this one.
Okay, yeah.
Is what I did use.
Okay.
I put that and I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So I'm glad to always roast some cauliflower. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of it. So some of mine is starting to brown because if you don't pay enough attention, it browns. But cauliflower is great when it gets caramelized on the outside. So I'm just going to let it sit for a while. Anyone have any comments about the the spices that are in it. Anyone have favorite ones?
I may be jumping a little bit ahead, but Carol and I both decided that we like the farro instead of the couscous in this.
Yes.
And the question is whether, since I think farro is a little bit bulkier, whether we should use less farro than called for the couscous.
I made the stew already, and I used farro also because I like the texture of that and it holds up well. One comment, two comments. One is to your question. You might want to trim it back a little bit on the volume, I think. I used just scant of 3 cups, and I probably could have been okay with just 2 because it absorbed a lot of liquid. I put lots more cups of water or vegetable broth in my 2 pots. Second is that the farro takes 20 to 23 minutes to cook. So you need to factor that in. It takes longer to cook than the pearled couscous.
Oh, good tip. Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, I have to say, I always buy the, or not always, but usually use the Trader Joe's that comes in packets of 10-minute prep. So I don't know, maybe it's devoid of some of the bran, which isn't good, but it cooks in 10 minutes. So I'm not used to that.
Yeah, so just check whatever your package of farro says. I think go by that. It's okay if it's a little chewier because
you
it's
don't
going to
want
be heated, but you don't want it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like mine is saying 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna put mine in far earlier.
Sooner.
I'm gonna have a glass of wine and I welcome anyone else to join me.
Ah, thank you for the invitation, Betsy.
I have
So,
a question about the spinach.
Yes.
Because we're freezing hours, should we not put the spinach in what we are sending because they would have to know not to? I mean, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I think the spinach is okay. We were
Because it
talking
says
about,
don't, on the recipe, it says heat, if you put it, yep, never mind. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, so, the recipe says to add it as you're eating it, just because even when you're cooking it, it just goes in for the last few minutes. Just a really quick warm it up and it shrivels to nothing. But I think that would be fine. I mean, I feel like we put spinach in a lot of dishes and that's fine, but I wouldn't, we've had this discussion numerous times. I don't usually put yogurt in, like the yogurt and lemon are delicious on top. But I'm not sure how that would work freezing it within this.
So one suggestion would be to, on a separate label, or if you have room on your label, to write out the little bits about how to make that yogurt mixture and just offer that up to the recipients as something they could do on their own to add when they heat it up and serve it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do because I have never mastered the art of making and freezing the soup and then putting the little bits on top or sending it on.
How do you pack the yogurt? Oh, just put the directions. Don't bother putting the
Yeah,
yogurt in.
that's my suggestion. I mean, fortunately, we're supplementing the food that people have. So they've got 2/3 of it, 9/10 of it made. And if they want to do it the rest of the way, you're telling them how. So
Okay, I
that's
got
my
it.
suggestion.
Okay,
So I used pearl barley instead of couscous, and what I did was I soaked it for an hour or so, and then used 3 cups of that soaked one because it becomes so much.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Yeah.
That was smart. I've actually cooked, believe it or not. I'm just finishing up. And I used right, I know, right?
What I did was I took 3 cups and I'm like, oh my God, like this is more than, it became 4 cups actually after you soak it,
I used the pearl barley also.
Okay.
But I didn't soak it. It's all in there, and I've been adding water and more
Yeah,
water
because
and
it
more
becomes
broth,
more.
but it's good. It smells great. It tastes,
Yes.
what I've tasted. It seems like it will be a hit.
Yeah.
Well, so Parna, you had asked about more spice. If you keep adding water, because you are cooking with something that's absorbing so much, then I
Okay.
think just go ahead and, do another fraction of the spices you've got, in
Spices,
there,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Keep
if
saying-
Sharon has finished, if she can take a picture of that and, put it on
Cheryl's,
the
no,
chat.
Cheryl's not done. Lisa is finished. Lisa,
Okay.
can we see your finished product, Lisa?
It's already in containers, but,
Oh,
yeah, I finished around 4,
Okay,
pulled it
okay.
just a bit and put it in containers already, so.
Maybe just describe it to Suparna, because she's trying to decide what she's,
It is pretty, it's not as pretty yellow, bright yellow as the photo on the website.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going by.
And it is, yeah, no, mine is not as such a beautiful yellow. Maybe that was photoshopped. I don't know. And I am going to put on the label, reheat with additional broth or water if needed.
Okay.
Because I think when that sits together, you have the lentils, you have the chickpeas, you
Yes.
have the grain, whatever you're using, it's gonna suck it up, absorb it. Sorry, that's a better word.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the soups we make, I end up putting that on the label, right? Just because it's, and it isn't as needed. If it's too thick, throw some broth or water in.
Yeah, and this way
And-
they
and-
get the
So,
density of
But
it.
this meal, let me ask you, I'm not sure who it was that was made it. I think Marcia, it was your family. This isn't really a soup, right? It's more like a
The
stew.
stew, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah. It's thick.
it's very thick, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, but it's really hearty.
yes.
Yeah. So you shouldn't add enough fluid to make it into a soup, correct? Right.
We should or we should not.
Should not, no,
No.
it's nice and thick and
Okay.
hearty, yeah.
When it comes to a boil, after you put the broth in, the stock, how long does it cook before you put in the barley and the lentils? I mean, before you put in the lentils and the couscous?
So that would be just as it boils, but if you're using one of the grains that needs more time,
I'm not. I'm using pearl couscous and I'm using red lentils, split red lentils.
following the recipe,
I am following the recipe.
yeah, then it just all goes in. Just bring it to a boil and then you could go on.
Bring it to a boil and then put it in, or
Yeah.
put it in and then bring it to a boil.
Well, I think I follow this, so bring it to a boil and then put everything in.
Okay.
I don't know what matters, but
Yeah, I did my fiddling around already because I've never made a recipe according to the directions. I don't think ever.
I think we could all go along with that.
Deb, I wanted to thank you for sending around the information about the 2 gentlemen who do driving as a side gig. Because David and I are going to the airport on Friday, and we usually, with a neighbor, we take turns driving each other, but she decided not to be in town, so we will be using, but thank you. That's such a wonderful way to support our community. So thanks for
Good.
sending
Well,
that
thank
around.
you guys for doing that and have the best time. This is Italy? Fantastic.
How
All
bad
right.
can it be? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Carol posted it, or someone posted on 2817 also, so it's getting some good traffic, yeah.
Yes, I think that was Carol. Thank you, Carol, for that.
Yeah, if anybody needs that information on this call that didn't see it, just shoot me a quick, okay, Yvonne, I'll put it, actually, if I can get my soup together, my stew together, I'll put it.
Thank you. Our neighbor, we do it with our neighbors also, but
Yeah.
she's on her way, I think, to Italy to do some walk or something, or Portugal, whatever. So,
Oh.
yeah,
Spain, maybe. Is she doing that Camino?
yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
Oh, wow.
I'll try
Yeah.
to remember to get that to you, Yvonne. If anybody else needs it, let me know. And then
Thank
if
you.
anybody didn't hear at the beginning of the call today, the drop off at 5171 Manning in Northwest DC is back up and running. So you can drop off there if you want.
Halal or vegetarian only at that location.
Indeed. That's true. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Yep. Oh my God, even just opening my bag of curry. I didn't even put it in yet and a kitchen smells so great. Ah,
I'm going to put, I actually already did, but I'm going to put a little more turmeric in mine.
mm.
The turmeric will make it really yellow.
Yes, it will, but it also gives it that kind of earthy,
Yeah,
yeah,
umami.
yes.
It's a great antioxidant.
Yeah,
It is.
true.
but as Marcia taught me, you need to use black pepper with it. Right?
That's right.
Did I make that up?
And I actually got this curry that's a Frontier Co-op brand that has turmeric, paprika, and fenugreek in it. I don't know if any of you are familiar with fenugreek, but it is delicious.
Yeah, you know, the Baines, who are vegetarian Indian, the James, vegetarian Indians, they use fenugreek instead of garlic because garlic looks like a brain. So that's why I keep it, because I make mostly Indian food.
Mhm.
No,
So
garlic is like grown underground, so it's not supposed to be, people who follow that religion, like I'm a Jain, but I do eat garlic and onions, but it's because it's underground, it's not supposed to be eaten.
Yeah.
So
I have some relatives who are Hindu Krishna devotees, and they don't eat garlic or onion, but they do eat potatoes, and potatoes are in the ground.
And
Yeah,
carrots.
I think it becomes
carrots.
more of a, sorry, my dog is barking in the background.
You want to just mute while your dog's talking?
Yes, yes.
I tried to grow fenugreek. It's a challenge.
Oh, is it?
What's it look like?
Well, you have to start from like indoors with like you would with alfalfa or any of those things that sprout,
Uh-huh.
and it eventually it kind of looks like a green, it looks a little bit like chives or
Oh,
I don't know, maybe actually more like cilantro because it has a leaf on it, but it's really tasty. It's really, I just didn't get a lot of it, and it was a lot of labor for a little bundle, a little product. So
You actually get fenugreek ready in the Indian stores.
Yeah.
oh really?
Yeah.
You guys, I got to take a minute because I think I see Olivier back cooking with us. Yay. Hi, Olivier. Oh my goodness, you look like you're 4 years older than when we saw you last.
I have this.
I like your Halloween decorations. So are you making our recipe today or what are you making? Yeah, cauliflower. How has school been since we saw you last?
Good.
Yeah, got anything new, any news to share with us or no?
I just finished a scientist project on Albert Einstein.
What kind of project did you do about Albert Einstein?
We did a slide on him, and a presentation.
So what kinds of interesting things can you remind us, those of us who learned about Albert Einstein but forgot everything already?
Okay, he got the Nobel Prize in 1921, and he also he was born in Ulm, Germany, and his favorite color was yellow, surprisingly. I don't know why. And of course, the famous equation E equals mc squared.
That means
Equals mass. What is mass times the speed of light squared?
Huh.
Into here. Can you say what is E? Can you explain the E equals energy times energy. Yeah, energy equals mass times the speed of light squared.
Very cool. Glad that you're enjoying school. Julia, welcome back. I'm not going to ask you to give a report on anybody or anything, but how have you been?
Everything's fine.
Good.
Yeah,
All right. Are you making today's recipe now?
I am. That's a lot of cauliflower.
I know. Although Marcia has given you the right to roast some of it and not use it all in this if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Ah. I probably should have done that.
Yeah, I don't know how I mean, the single recipe just gives us like 6 servings, so I don't know how somehow tripling it gave us a world of cauliflower.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll cook down.
Yeah, if it's, if you don't have too much of the other stuff, and you may want to scoop out, a bowl full and just save it for something else of the cauliflower, and then,
Yeah, well, it does seem to be cooking down, so we'll
yeah,
see.
mine has decreased quite a bit, but still, there's a lot. So we'll see.
So can I add the turmeric now and still everything will get yellow, or once I've put the broth and stuff in, it's too late and it's already going to be a little more brown than yellow?
No, you could still put it in, just don't put in too much, because it's a little bitter, so.
I have fresh. Should I do that? Grind up some of that and throw it in, or?
I don't know.
Martine, you can answer too. Hi, Martine. Good to see you.
Hello, we missed you guys.
Hey, we missed you too. We're happy you're back.
Yeah, we're so happy to be back.
It smells so good.
Oh, good. Martine, so the question is, we're trying to get that yellow look from the picture in the website. Can we add fresh turmeric now? I've already put my broth in, or is it too late to really make an impact on the color?
I think it'll still make an impact on the color, but it's fresh turmeric.
I
think
have fresh. I have powdered, but I have fresh.
I think the fresh one. I'm not the expert here, so that I'm just making sure that
Kind of are at this point.
that. But I think that it would be more potent when it's in the oil because it's fresh, and to cook it with everything else.
Yeah, I missed my opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I
No
think
worries.
you could still add it, but I think it would have the greatest effect at the very beginning with the onions and the
Yeah.
cauliflower.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Let's put some turmeric in, Mom. Turmeric. It smells so good.
We've missed your enthusiasm. Thanks for coming back today.
You're welcome. Okay.
He rushed to get his homework done.
Yeah, I'm not even done with my homework. I don't care.
Deb, there was something you wanted to remind everybody about, but I don't remember what it was.
That Salma's location is open again.
There was something else, but oh well. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for remembering that there was something.
Oh, something that happened is like, it was sizzling all over. Once we
Yeah.
put the broth in, just complete silence.
So I don't remember if that was my photo or that was like a website hack, like a.
Yeah, I think it was the website. So who knows what they did to get that color.
Well, here's mine with no turmeric in it yet.
Let's see.
I don't know if you're getting it's yellow.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good.
Because it should be, it gets.
It
some of
looks
the
yellower actually in the pot than it did what little bit I could see on the screen.
Okay.
But I'm still gonna put some turmeric in. Because I like the flavor.
So is it fine to chop the cauliflower in a food processor?
If it doesn't get too small, I mean, you want a little, you mean are you talking about after you cook it or before?
No, before.
Yeah, so I don't know what kind of food processor you have, but I like to leave the florets so that you actually see what it is.
Okay.
So I prefer it that way. It would probably be a different texture if it were more cut up. I don't know if you have the control to just make kind of chopped pieces
Yeah.
as opposed to really,
Okay.
it shouldn't be riced, but
Mhm.
usually it doesn't matter what size you use, it's sort of personal preference, but I usually, let's say, use florets this size, or, some of them are going to be smaller because I just kind of chop randomly. But as long as you could control it so that they're not so small. But what I do usually is I'll turn the cauliflower on its head and use my knife straight down to get the core out, and then just kind of break it apart. Or this one was a little tougher, so I did use my knife to do that. But it really is dealer's choice, whatever strikes you.
We're putting in all the spices, the curry powder, cumin. What else?
Coriander.
Yeah, coriander, all that stuff. It's just, and we just put the salt. What's your guys' favorite spice?
Who wants to answer that one?
I like coriander.
Coriander.
How about you, Olivier?
Mine's
Salt.
cumin. I like cumin.
Salt, definitely salt. I love salt.
Yeah, I like cumin too.
Our thing is now yellow.
Oh yeah, you made it yellow? What do you think did it, Martine?
Yeah, we just took like half a teaspoon of powdered turmeric and plop. And
turmeric, beautiful. Okay.
here, it looks so good.
Yep.
Here it does.
So what's your favorite dish that you've been making lately?
That's hard.
Because you make so many.
I don't know.
You just like to you like to make spinach, right? With
Well,
some,
I like to make a bunch of stuff. I like to make like almost anything.
you want to say one of the things? So besides spinach, you cook a lot of spinach. What
Yeah, I
else do
like
you
making spinach. Oh, I
Lentils?
like making Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts. Roasted Brussels sprouts with salt and olive oil.
And then do you roast them or air fryer, or how do you like to make them?
Yeah, we just stick them in the oven.
Oven, yep. They get so good, right?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite foods.
So besides Olivier's starting a new grade. His mom started a new job. How's it going, Martine? It's going good? Everybody's happy over there?
Yeah, it's going really well. Keeping busy, learning a lot of new things. I'm working now. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Milken Institute. So I work there right now in the Center for Strategic Philanthropy. And so we help philanthropists learn how to give away their dollars in a strategic way. So our department works on rare diseases and technology and innovation, the environment, just a whole host of things, which has been really fascinating. Every day it feels like I've got to learn something new.
Great.
Yeah. How are you?
You, me? Me's good.
You, yes, Miss Deb.
Yeah, you.
How are you doing?
Everything's good. A little lonely in the office without you, but look at all these other fun people I get to hang out with. So
Yeah, that's
all
nice.
good.
That's nice. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, okay, thank you.
This is a quick meal when you're just making one.
Not so quick when you're
One
cooking for
recipe.
500, yeah. But it's great. I like that we're branching out into things beyond soup, but we can still cook in a soup pot and
Yeah.
package it up. It's all good.
Speaking of soup, ours is now officially a soup because
Oh,
we just
yeah?
added all the. We
It
just
might
added
not
all
be a
the
soup for long though, so enjoy it while it's soupy.
soupy.
Because it's going to become a stew. It's going to be really thick stew.
Yeah.
So we went from just kind of like a salad, a vegetable thingy with cauliflower to a soup, and then a stew.
We're gonna.
Yeah, What do we
What?
What do we put in to make it all thick?
Well, the things that you do, did you put in your lentils and your chickpeas yet?
No.
Oh, when you put those in, they're gonna absorb liquid. And as it as it cooks down, what do you put in? You put in your broth?
Yeah, we just put in the broth.
All right. What are the
I could
instructions?
smell this all day.
All right, as soon as it comes to a boil, you're gonna add chickpeas, couscous, and lentils, or something like couscous. I used farro. What are you guys using?
I have
Yeah,
a question. Can I ask a question before that?
Yes, hi, Marge.
Hi, so I'm just starting because I was busy sorting yarn all afternoon. So we need to talk about that separately, but on the cauliflower, do I just cut it into florets or can I
Yes.
include some of the white stems or, because you're not pureeing this soup?
You're not.
And she would like it to be florets, but I don't see any reason in the world that you couldn't put some chunks of that stem in
I
there.
left my stems.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and they're fine. They're
Yeah.
great.
Okay,
Do this.
thank you, Yvonne.
And then if they're too big, just chop them and put the dimes in, the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
smaller little bits.
Make them about the same size as your florets.
I'm using barley in mine, pearl barley in mine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I use,
Those things that you add once the broth is coming to a boil are the things that will absorb all the liquid, Olivier.
so at the end, do we add lime juice, or we should keep that as an optional thing?
Yeah, I haven't added it before because it goes so well in that lime yogurt. It's really delicious. What you could do is take out, a saucer full or whatever and squeeze a little lime in and see how it goes. To just do that, but I always have it with the yogurt and lime and it's really
Okay.
good.
Okay, all right.
Lime is so good.
Yeah.
I think do
Almost
you think
anything. Almost.
And it adds a
you
real
think
kick to
thicker?
it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think it's thicker as it sits, like in the next, in the refrigerator and all? Just trying to gauge how much water to leave in it.
Yeah, so who was on before?
Suparna.
So she was
Oh,
saying
Marge, sorry, yeah.
that in the fridge, it got super thick. And we were trying to decide whether, you know, when it heats up again, it may loosen up a little bit. So you don't want to add too much water because then you take away the taste. So it's a balance. But I would say if it's a good thick stew the way it is, like not gloppy, but just, you know, a good hearty stew, that's the way it should be. And if it's refrigerated and then heated up again, it'll come back to the same. They could always add water when they're eating it and, you know, spice it up a little bit more if it needs it.
Marcia, did you say we need more liquid if we're using farro than what the recipe calls for, or you think it's going to be enough?
Yeah, so everyone's has said that they needed more or have used a little bit less of the grain.
Or just use less? Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine.
I needed more, much more water, or broth, whatever. But then I used all 3 heads of my cauliflower, which makes it more.
Yeah,
and then I added more of the seasonings because
yes,
it was very mild. You know, it was all right. But
you're reaffirming all my instincts.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You're reaffirming all my instincts. More spice.
Yeah, I need more. Yeah, look, got them all out. Little pepper, some more cumin. Ah, there we go. All right. That's really good.
So what more did you add? Just more of the same spices or added different ones?
I did put some turmeric in, and I added more curry, more cumin, and more black pepper, and more a little bit of salt. There's so many, the spices are so, you know, vibrant or whatever. Don't really need much salt at all.
That's good.
So I'm almost done with mine. So I'm going to sign off.
Okay, thank you for joining us and thank you for cooking this week. Next
Yes,
week, by the
welcome.
way, we're making a cranberry, bean, and kale soup, which I'm excited. We haven't been doing like bean and kale for a while. So Carol's going to lead us in that. So I hope you join us next Monday.
Yes, I will. I will.
Fantastic.
All right.
Have a good week.
You too. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. A note on the cranberry beans, if you can't find something called cranberry beans, you can find something called little red beans, which I think will be fine. They can be hard to find with that label, but I think they're basically, they're not kidney beans. Don't get the kidney beans, but they're small red beans. And even Giant has a product called like tiny red beans or small red beans or little red beans or something like that. And you could use those. So don't freak out if you can't find the cranberry beans.
I won't be, am I on or off?
You're on.
I won't be here next week. I have auditions for a play next Monday night. So
Well, good luck. Tell us about it.
It's the show that'll be at Silver Spring Stage, opens January 26th. So I'm holding auditions now to cast that. Anybody who wants to come out, please do. Go to silverspringstage.org and look for the audition forms.
What show did you, we heard, we didn't,
What
we missed,
show?
we missed the first part of what you said. What show are you auditioning for?
I'm not I am directing. And so
Oh.
I'm holding auditions for a show, and the show is called Abdication. And it's it's a dystopian triptych of 3, I'm going to say 1-act plays that are tied together by a dancing, singing narrator and his or her, their valets. And it's about technology and its effect on the social, personal, and societal relationships. It's a hoot. It's
Okay.
a dark, tragic comedy, but we hope we were going to leave you laughing, even though you're going to go home and want to slit your wrist.
Okay.
Interesting
No,
combination.
it will be fun. It will be fun. Yeah. So
Please remind us as it gets.
oh yes, keep open. I'm also doing a scene along with several other performing artists, musicians, spoken word, musical, whatever scenes, of curated works in progress out at Open Stage in Accokeek on October 21st. It's free, but there'll be, you can buy drinks and whatever, dress warmly and come enjoy. It's in an amphitheater. Yeah, that's been closed since COVID. So this is going to be its debut reopening.
Very cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I went out last night to walk the site and the stage and rehearse with my scene partner, and it's delightful. It is so beautiful out there, and it's just this little hidden gem out in the middle of Accokeek. And it's beautiful. Yeah, lovely. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing whatever all the other things people are working on, little bits and pieces, and getting audience feedback. See if you got it. Did you get it? Did you get what I was trying to say here?
And so that's just on the 21st.
Yeah.
Day of end. Okay, cool. What time?
7 p.m. I'll send you I'll send it to you, and anybody who wants it, you could just send it to. Great.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Anyone who wants to go see Scorched, which closes Sunday, the 15th. It's a Thursday, Friday, a matinee and an evening Saturday, and a matinee on Sunday. I have a discount code, so you can get $20 tickets. It's at Atlas Performing Arts Theater, and it's really good. I have seen it. It's very, very good. It's gotten great reviews. So anybody wants that, I will just send I will also, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna, you're now
I'm your secretary. Send it along.
I will just I'll send it to you. And anyone who wants, or you can just send it to anybody, because they can send it to any,
Okay.
that I can give it to my friends. So you're all my friends because you're all making soup. So I like you.
Thank you.
And a $20 ticket, where are you going to find that anymore for live theater?
That's great.
How long have you been a director?
Let's see. I was assistant director for a stage play, I'm going to say 10 years ago. And then I was a director for a stage play about 10 years ago. And then I was assistant director for a play before COVID, must have been 2019. And then I directed a play last 2022. That was nominated for a Helen Award. And then I directed a 1-act play that just closed at Silver Spring Stage 1-act Festival. And now I'm doing this one. I'm also directing my scene in my movie, although That was not my intent. I think directors always run a risk when they direct their own writing, but I'm gonna see if I can get a director to come tell me that doesn't make sense. But if not, then it'll just be what it'll be.
Wow. I
Sounds
think
like you have a lot.
Are you interested in the theater?
Olivier?
That's
Yes.
from you?
Am I interested in the theater?
Uh-huh.
Maybe, but you said it's at 7 o'clock because I don't think I'll be able to make it fast.
Right, it's kind of late. You you wouldn't get home until probably 10, because I guess it'll run about 2 hours.
Our thing is taking like forever to boil. Only just now starting to boil, and I'm thinking that you're doing like 3 times more than us. Like, how long would it take to boil? I think
Well, I cheated and I started very early and got everything in except my broth, which I had heating on the stove, so I put it in hot. So it came to a boil. It came to a boil very quickly, and then I could put in all my other stuff, and now I'm done.
Right, that's the trick. Have your broth or water boiling separately in a separate pot. So when you put it in, it's already hot.
good idea. I just now poured in the couscous and it's and the lentils, and it's just so interesting. It's kind of like piling on top of the water.
Yeah,
So
you
now
have
I'm gonna
to-
mix it in.
You have to mix it in.
Mix it in.
And you might have to add some more water. You'll see if it gets too thick. But it
Yeah,
looks like you have a
I
lot of
then put a
liquid
pot
there.
of water on the stove and bring it to a boil and then turn it down. So if you need more, it's already hot when you put it in.
Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
Hot.
This looks so good. It smells so good. I can't wait. I'm so tired of having to do my tasting spoon.
I hope you have some lime yogurt to go.
I do. I have limes and I have yogurt.
Oh,
So
it's
you've got
so
lime yogurt.
I am hooked.
I
on
will have lime yogurt with my.
I agree. It does smell good.
It smells absolutely delicious.
Olivier, how old are you
I think
now?
my couscous is done.
11.
Your couscous is, Yvonne,
I
you
think
use
my
the large
couscous is done. I'll tell you
right?
in a second.
Okay.
I need to smell this.
What do you say? Yep, she's shaking her head, yes.
Yes, my couscous is done.
And how's your flavor?
Delicious.
Fantastic.
But I had to put more.
More of your spices, yeah.
Yeah, because I must have put another, probably another 6 cups of water.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And it's not soup, it's stew.
Here, can you show us in your?
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Can you, hold on.
Yep.
Um,
There's nothing soupy there, but it's not real dry.
Can you see
either.
it?
Yeah, yes, we can. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It smells divine.
And it should be filling.
That is a nice pot you have, Yvonne. Dang.
You know, it is. And I have 3 of them this size and one that's a little smaller. We've had them for, I don't know, maybe 30 years. And they used to sell them at, there was a store up on Black Diamond. Is that what it's called? Off of Muddy Branch. And what was the name of it? Anyway, it was like an international store.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had an aisle with Japanese food, an aisle with Chinese food, an aisle with Indian food, whatever. And they had these pans. And I bought them because we used to have a big party every year. And I'd go back and I'd get another pan, and I got 3 of them. And then I went back and they didn't have this size anymore.
Oh.
So they had the one that was a little smaller, which I also use sometimes, and I can't find them anywhere. So these are getting willed to somebody because they're yeah, they're great.
Hey, look, that's beautiful.
Excuse me, quick question. Just this is a question. Wait, Mom, why do you move it from there?
It's just because we don't need that right now. Ask
No,
your
but I like
question.
it when it's over here for this. So, when we have our stove thing, does the water boil faster? You see down here we have the knob. Does it boil faster when the knob is like all the way turned to like the max? Wait, Mom, she can't see. When
Yes.
it's turned to the max.
Well,
Okay.
if your mom will tell you, if you're cooking a pot of water on a hotter flame, is that what you're asking compared to a less?
Yeah, because I don't often see her turn it to like the maximum when it's boiling. So I'm just wondering if it actually was.
Thank you for sending me an easy pitch. Yes, the hotter your flame, the quicker your water will boil.
Mama, why don't you do that then?
I know he always
Because
wants to
she's
be at the
into Italian
maximum.
slow living. No, you have to take your time, Olivier, and enjoy the process.
So Olivier, you just have to be careful if you use the full flame that the pot is wide enough to take up the whole flame, right? Because you don't want it coming around the side.
I see, because when it's at the highest, it kind of like this is the pot, and it kind of like goes like right there.
Yeah, that's a bit too much. But if you wanted it to boil faster, you could just put a lid on part way, you know?
Good idea. I'm doing that right now. I'm not the most patient person in the world, so.
You're doing great, Olivier.
He's got a lot he's accomplishing in the world already.
Absolutely.
All right, Marcia, I have one of those like 622 questions for you. It being 622. So I'm tasting it and it is delicious, but it's a little sweet for my taste. And so I would be tempted to want to, because you give a person like me a little bit of knowledge and I go crazy, like a little something acidic. Is this where the lime would be coming in? I feel like.
Yeah, I'd probably test it outside the pan.
Yeah.
I wonder if turmeric, did you end up putting in
I
turmeric?
didn't because I was too late for the yellow. So, and I couldn't find my powdered. It's probably up there. That would do it, you think? If I find the powdered?
It's kind of bitter, so I would think that it would turn it a bit.
But I bet if I were to do the lime yogurt, it would be perfect because it would balance off the little bit of sweet with the acid in the, or am
Yeah.
I would go with a couple of squeezes of lime juice in the bowl and test that out. And maybe even the lime, I think if you put it in for the packaged soup, the lime flavoring may dissipate somewhat, as it sometimes does.
Yeah.
But it still would give it a little kick, I think.
Lisa, you already majors. Did you feel like when you tasted it, it kind of maybe wanted a little bit of that, or?
Yes, I didn't add the lime juice, but I would definitely, when I reheat for myself, I think I'm going to squeeze some lime juice into the dish and also top it with the lime yogurt.
Yeah.
Mine made just short of 8 quarts.
Wow.
So anyway, it was a pretty good volume for me. And I've done my little labels, and I put reheat with broth or water if needed, vegan. And then I put a note, can serve topped with Greek yogurt flavor with lime juice. So
Lovely, lovely.
Covers everything.
It does. All right, thank you for confirming my instincts on that. How's everybody doing?
Good. Oh, we didn't get the yogurt, but is it okay if we top it off with avocado?
Ooh, if your mama thinks it's good, then we think you should try it because she is quite the accomplished chef. There you go.
What we like to do oftentimes with lots of food, almost any food that he eats, I top it with a mixture of avocado with lime and a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper. And that's nice to top off a lot of different things.
Sounds smooth.
I
and
put that
delicious.
on top of my tomato soup last week.
Welcome to the.
Yeah, I'm an avocado fanatic.
So good for you.
That was his first food, actually. Olivier's first food was avocado, his first solid food.
Oh, my goodness. That's great.
Yeah,
I
and
was, is there a Kind Works? Is there this out in California? Because I wanted to do with my grandsons when I'm there.
So there isn't one out there, but why can't you do it with us?
Because the time is, they'll be, because of the time,
Yeah.
they'll be just getting home from school and they'll probably have soccer practice or what have you. So it would have to be,
Yeah. Well,
I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
when are you going to be there?
I leave I leave the 28th through, I think, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Where are they in
In
California?
Palos Verdes.
Okay, is that near
Los
Angeles?
Yeah.
You could also do the recording. You could do it with him from the recording.
yeah, but we want to meet them. So
Well,
that's funny. I was there last November. We had, remember, Katie Ledecky on, and I did from their home. Oh, it was on a Sunday. We might start doing Sundays. And if you're going to be there through Thanksgiving, maybe I can.
Yeah, I'm going to be there through Thanksgiving.
Maybe we can start one on a Sunday because we'd love to cook with your grandsons.
I know, and they love to cook. And one of the soups, the Nigerian soup that I made, I made it for them when we went out there, and they raved about it. So my daughter, she emailed me and she said, they keep bugging me about this thing that you made when you were out here. Send me the ingredients. Can you make it again for them? And I did. And they said, my youngest said, don't tell mommy, but you're a better cook than she is.
Well, you know what? Check with your daughter about their Monday activities, because if there's any way that you can just join us, we'd love that.
Yeah, and they would love it. They would just love it. So
I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that maybe they won't have activities right after school.
Yeah.
Hey, Deb, are you thinking of switching to Sunday from Monday? Is that what's being thought about?
So not really, but I think
Okay.
that the board, in an effort to try to, see when we can maybe get a more larger participation, is thinking about maybe once a month on a Sunday. I think we would still do Mondays because so many of us are used to Mondays and it works. But if you all were to tell me, oh, I actually like that Sunday time better, then, we'd let Monday go and just go for Sunday. So we're just trying to play around with ideas. I've been asking a lot lately, what could work, what does work. But I think we'll at least start with one Sunday a month.
Schedules are so hard. They're just.
And especially because, all we want to do is, if people want to do this, make it so that they can. So
Right.
hard. Yeah.
You know how I feel about this Sunday talk.
I know. I was so hoping you were feeding the dog.
And Yvonne, there's no reason they can't come on when we cook on a Sunday. We're supposed to cook this Sunday.
I forgot about it. Thank you.
I actually was looking. I didn't.
We can do it with March on Sunday with the boys.
I did not post a recipe yet. Several things are going on right now. So
maybe make that sweet potato African soup that her grandsons love, Marge.
Marge, can you post next Sunday's soup before?
Because we may make it Saturday.
Because we may make it Saturday. Because I have, as I told
it'll be posted before that. I couldn't post anything because of the Jewish holidays, and then other stuff happened, so I couldn't do anything. And I had a near coronary because they told me it's going to cost $5,000 to fix my car. Now my car is worth $5,500, right? It's a 10-year-old. I've had it almost 11 years now. And I'm sort of like reeling. Plus it was Jewish holidays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I couldn't post anything. And I was going to get to it today, but I had to sort yarn and grab squash donuts.
Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah.
I only have 1 minute left. So let me interrupt, and I apologize, Marge, and I wish you good luck for your car. Karen, welcome. Do you want to tell us who you are? We're so happy you're here.
Yes, hi, and I apologize. I got a call right at the start of this class, so I was off camera and not able to listen to y'all. So I just found out about this last week through a newsletter through the Bender JCC. For those of you in the DC area, and I was looking for sort of little one-off, volunteer projects like packing groceries, and this just jumped right out at me. So I didn't do the recipe. Obviously, I'm sitting here in a, other room,
Yeah.
but it sounds like a great organization. And I'm near the Bethesda drop-off point, the short metro trip.
Good.
And it's outside the church, Bethesda Presbyterian Church.
You go out back, around it, in the back. It's a little awkward to get to, but our directions tell you exactly how to get there.
Yeah, down a
Okay.
driveway into a parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's like a cooler or like a fridge out there?
No, cooler.
Yeah.
So I go to the Sunday farmers market, so this would be perfect for
That's
that.
what I do. I love it.
It's right near it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's right in the back of the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Right.
So you'll
And
see
I-
all of us at the farmer's market.
Awesome. And I don't want to keep you all, but I did have a question about containers. Like, do you buy like the inexpensive ones, like a Giant, or what do you, anything like those?
No, I'm going to tell you the secret. I mean, so a lot of us buy them off the web restaurant,
Okay.
if you're going to do this all the time. But
Mhm.
the best secret of all is to ask your neighbors on some listserv, put a box out front and just say, don't want to recycle because you kind of would rather have them reused. Drop me off your soup containers. You can actually even ask, and everybody on the call, I can collect some of the half-size ones from you all if you have any that you don't want to use for this. If you're using them, great. But the pint ones, we're going to have a Dot Shalom doing some cooking on the 22nd. And I told them for whatever reason where they're delivering, because it's going to be for seniors, I'm going to see about getting them some pint-sized ones. So if
So
anybody,
I'll have some of those. I had a neighbor who was moving, and she brought over tons of containers, including the little ones. So Deb, I'll try to get them to you before we leave town.
The other possibility on a container, and I don't know who on the call had told me about this years ago, is at Costco. So instead of the tall ones, they're like square, and I found them to be less expensive. Yeah, that one that you're holding up. I found them to be less expensive than the tall ones, even on the internet.
These are the lids to the ones from the Costco ones. I don't have the bottoms up here. They're in my basement right now. I have to go get them.
Yeah,
So
I think that's what we have.
Is the best to do like quart size then for?
Yeah, this is the bottom to that top.
Okay.
So
Here's what we have. Here's the bottom.
It stacks in the freezer for me easier than the tall ones. So just another idea. Whoever gave me that suggestion, I thought it was great.
You get something like 25 for $6.99 or $7.99. It's a really good deal at Costco.
And it's $7.99 for 25, and they have them like if you're going up to Gaithersburg, it's like in almost the last aisle before you get to the bread. It's all the way up at the end.
Karen, is this the most helpful group ever, or what?
It's wonderful. And I wanted to ask though, the Sunday, if the existing Sunday, is that a completely different thing, or?
So Marge is running an exactly similar KindSoup session for largely members of Har Shalom. But I think she'd be absolutely thrilled to have you join. And you'll just touch base with her by email. And Marge, you want to put your email in the chat for
I'll put my email in the chat. The deal is we typically cook the second and fourth Sundays. However, we had Jewish holidays on the second Sunday, and on the fourth Sunday, we have our Hazan is retiring, and so they're having a tribute to him, and I didn't want to interfere. So this month, we're cooking the third and fifth Sundays, So anyway.
And is it morning or Sunday afternoon?
Sunday afternoon, 4 to 5.
Oh, okay.
And Karen, if this is something you love, we were trying to get this with Lauren Dworkin going for the Bender JCC. So you and I will go back to her and say, all right, now we've got a Bender person who wants this to happen. So.
I'm actually not a member there, but I'm still on their it's a wonderful organization. Actually, I used to be a member and now I'm not. I've been thinking about going back.
Well,
and I found out about this through them. She has whoever runs their volunteer program has a whole page with like a wider circle and this and
Good. All right. Well, let's talk to Lauren if this ends up being what you hope.
Okay.
Hey, and Deb, I think I told you just real quick, I'm going to be pitching it to Temple Emmanuel women, and actually next week's our meeting. So I'm going to pitch it for a once a month if we can do that. I'll let you know how it goes.
That'll be great. And then we're just going to end, besides thanking Marcia for a great recipe and fabulous leadership, with a word from Olivier.
Yeah, something quickly. I'm about to taste it. I'm just gonna do a little.
You were
test.
waiting for the spotlight.
I tell you.
Delicious.
All right. On that note, everybody
Totally
have a wonderful week.
spontaneous.
Olivier,
Take care.
we need you to do your homework on Sunday so that on Monday you can join us because we miss you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
all.
Bye,
Good
nice
seeing you.
meeting you all.
Oh.
Lisa, will I see you tomorrow? No. Okay.
No, Marge, tomorrow I have to be at the oral surgeon at 8:45.
Oh, yeah. Okay.